Hi guys, so it's a few days after the Chain of Command tournament that was played at Cancon in the Australian national capital of Canberra. Um, and here's my report on the events that followed. It was a great tournament, so before I get into the details, let's just have a look around the venue. I arrived there the day before to help Steve McGuigan and a couple of lads set up. So without a further ado, let's have a look at the tables as we were setting them up.
One big boat you can sit. Bit of intelligence going on over here.
Yeah, which table is this one? This is table one, is it? This is the messing about in boats one, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Come out.
Yeah.
So
And this is the last train to Clarksville
You've
table.
got to take this as a journalist, do you? You've got to take that board.
This table's not finished yet. It's still under construction, but you can. So yeah, this is the day before Cancon, and we're just setting up the tables. So John Bond's created all the terrain here. So this is pretty much a one-man show, believe it or not. And if you want to see something that's just freaking crazy, and that's not a model you can purchase either. That's made by John. These windmills are pretty impressive.
He's thought of everything. Awesome. Yeah.
Yes. So obviously we had some Stukas around here.
I really like the shoutouts.
Yeah, it's amazing. Someone hasn't finished peeling their potatoes. And that's the drinks cabinet, isn't it? Oh, I knew the French would like that. You could say, well, that's where I'm going to get all my Molotov cocktails from. Okay, so before I go on, I just have to apologise. My voice is pretty hoarse. I spent pretty much the entire weekend talking because what I did is last year I played in the tournament, but this year I decided I would run a boot camp. The idea being that people would come around and have a look at the games, and if they then expressed an interest on learning how to play, the lads would direct them down to the table that I had set up, which was designed to just basically introduce them to Chain of Command. The scenario I came up with was based on one of the scenarios out of the 1940s handbook, which is Going with a Bang. And yeah, that was pretty successful. Over the 3 day or 2.5 days, I probably introduced about 9 people to Chain of Command, so that was positive. And of that, those 9 people, 3 were determined that they were going to get their hands on the rules and start playing the game. And so that was nice to know. We were down a player, so I had to stand in to play the first game on table 1, the messing about with boats table. And I played against a fellow who hadn't played very many games. So I took the opportunity to like run him through, give him some tactical pointers, and help him out with coming to grips with some of the more nuanced aspects of the rules. So that was my Saturday morning tied up. After that, I then introduced a couple of people to Chain of Command, and we played the Going with the Bang scenario, and that went pretty well, with the game going right down to the wire, and the 3 players really enjoying it. The next day, Again, I played the first game, and that one I played against Greg Burton, and it was the last train to Clarksville, which was based on a modified Swift support scenario. The only difference was that the French, I played the French in that game, they couldn't use any support options at all. Nothing. No minefields, no wire. So both sides had 12 support points, but the French could not use the support points for anything during the first turn. So it was a pretty tough ask for the French. But the idea behind it, Steve told me that the tournament organizer was that they wanted to have games that would could be fought to a conclusion within 3 hours, and so the onus was on the Germans to really crack on, and the onus was on the French to hang on as best they could. And it was a really fun game. For the majority of the game, I could only fight with one section against a platoon of Germans, but the Germans had a tough ask of it as well, because there was very little terrain for them to utilise in their deployment area. So they all came in the open, and the French came in with only one section and under a Stuka attack as well. So that was interesting. All in all, it was a pretty successful weekend. Lots of interest. I spent a lot of time talking to people, and but the terrain was fantastic. It was played in the right spirit. There was no real issues that I was aware of, and all in all, it was a great success. So what I intend to do now is I'll upload the Cancon 20 player pack up to the Check Your Leader Facebook page. That way, any of you guys out there that are interested in the scenarios that we played will be able to access them and maybe utilise them in some of your games. And the next thing on the card, we're now looking towards Cancon 2021, and I've been stabbed. I volunteered to run that tournament, and at this stage it's looking like it's going to be, the theme will be Barbarossa 41-42. So basically the Eastern Front, from the commencement of Barbarossa up until the end of 1942. So that's something to look forward to. Again, I hope you've enjoyed just looking at some of the photos here. I've taken the photos from the Chain of Command Cancon 2020 Facebook page, which is now the Chain of Command Cancon 2021 Facebook page. And congratulations to all the guys that competed. You all did well, and you all covered yourself in glory with your attitude and the manner in which you played. And we couldn't finish off this video without thanking the sponsors for the event. Dice of War, they provided some dice for us. That was really good. Knights of Dice was a big sponsor, and their terrain is fantastic. I have quite a lot of their stuff myself, actually, and in recognition of their support, I dashed over to their stall and promptly bought about $180 worth of storage trays. OTP miniatures and models, 3D printers of quality models and terrain, and of course War and Peace Games, who are a bit of a household name here in Australia, so they helped out as well. So thanks to Ian and John at War and Peace. Really hope that we can get their sponsorship next year as well. So that's all for now, guys. I really hope you've got something from this little report from Cancon 2020 in the Chain of Command tournament. Until I catch you next time, Ubiquay.